Rise and shine, Rwanda. It's Friday the 15th of May.
Coming up on today's weekly review show.
Rotarians from all over Africa gathered in Kigali, and it was a big celebration to say the least.
Fidelis looked into a business that's keeping our cars squeaky clean.
Arnold had a candid chat with the captain of the national basketball team.
And we followed up with a project that's sure to bring out the artists in you. Good morning and welcome to our weekly review show where we take you back to the best of the week here on Rise and Shine Rwanda. It's just gone 7 o'clock in the morning. My name is Regis Isheja.
And I'm Makeda Mahario. Over the next hour, we'll be bringing you a review of the week's top stories, analysis, debate, and insights into the stories making headlines here in Rwanda and across the world. The Rise and Shine crew throughout the week have diligently been gathering and preparing everything you need to know about what's happening right now.
Well, it's been a busy week for us here at the Rise and Shine headquarters. One of the most interesting stories that we reported on this week was the Rotary International Club gathering. About 400 members together, their spouses, and many other sympathizers came together this past weekend for the 33rd annual conference of the Rotary District 9150, a way to exchange about the movement, its ideology, but also to mingle and find out about what Rotary Rwanda has been up to. Let's take a look back at the top of the week's report. It was a sight to see, from traditional dancers of Inganzongari to a display of flags that got the room amped. It was a celebration. Rotarians from 10 African countries were in Kigali this past week to celebrate a Rotary International District 9150's achievements. Burundi, Cameroon, Chad, Congo-Brazzaville, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Gabon, Equatorial Guinea, the Central African Republic, Sao Tome and Principe, and host Rwanda. They were all represented here to reflect on what they have been able to accomplish at a district level, but also to look forward to greater things to come.
Kalulu Namangoremi.
Très heureuse d'être là à Kigali et je trouve en fait que c'est une très grande expérience rotarien d'être en communion avec les autres amis et puis de discuter des problèmes du Rotary, de la manière d'améliorer les buts et les objectifs que nous fixons.
J'ai joint le Rotary naturellement en fait parce que c'est un besoin naturel que tout humain a de voir quand tu vois les autres en face de toi dans la souffrance, tu as besoin de servir. Et au niveau de Pointe-Noire là où j'habite, je ne savais pas comment le faire personnellement parce que des fois ça demande des moyens énormes et c'est quelque chose qui a beaucoup d'importance et qui a beaucoup de valeur pour moi.
The movement was created in 1905 by American attorney Paul Percy Harris and has about 35,000 clubs and over 1.2 million members worldwide. Now, what does it mean to be a Rotarian and what's the purpose of the organization?
Être rotarien, je pense que c'est un plus. Ça permet à tout un chacun de développer son côté humain, de servir pour autrui et d'être beaucoup plus altruiste et participer d'une certaine manière à la paix dans le monde.
C'est un club service et la base du Rotary c'est de servir, aider sa communauté, la fraternité, l'entente cordiale. Que ça fait, c'est ma première fois de venir à une convention de district du Rotary international et cette chaleur en fait, cette amitié que tu peux ressentir des gens qui viennent de différents horizons, différents milieux sociaux, qui s'appellent des amis, qui se font confiance directement comment dire, c'est beaucoup quoi.
It was mainly a way to communicate about each one's experiences and find a common ground. It was as colorful as it gets. Regis Sheja, Rise and Shine Rwanda. And joining us in studio now is Jean Runouya, Governor of Rotary International District 9150. Merci d'être là, Monsieur Runouya. Bon matin. Alors, le principe même, l'idée même, la philosophie derrière Rotary, c'est quoi exactement?
La philosophie derrière le Rotary, c'est une association de personnes, de professionnels dans tous les domaines et qui partagent l'idéal de servir. Et ceci sans distinction de nationalité, sans distinction de différences culturelles, sans distinction de race, sans distinction de croyances religieuses. Alors nous nous réunissons pour pouvoir partager l'idéal de servir. Et nous nous réunissons autour de la camaraderie, autour de services envers nos communautés, autour de l'internationalité du Rotary. Et voilà. Et alors, autour de l'éthique professionnelle.
D'accord. Alors en faisant mes petites recherches, j'ai appris que le Rotary international a été créé en 1905 par un Américain, un avocat. Et petit à petit, c'est devenu quelque chose qui a pris du volume, qui s'est étendu sur toute la planète. Moi, je me rappelle, quand j'étais jeune, je voyais les plus âgés, nos parents, nos grands frères, intégrer le Rotary. Quelle est la différence entre le Rotary et le Lions Club, par exemple, et d'autres groupes?
Ce sont des clubs-services. Ils travaillent pour la communauté, mais chaque club-service a son règlement, a sa vision, a sa façon de voir les choses. Ils se réunissent aussi autour de l'amitié, donc il y a beaucoup de ressemblances. Mais le Rotary est l'un des plus anciens et je dirais même le plus costaud dans le monde. Il a 1 200 000 membres dans le monde entier. Il est dans 200 pays et il est réuni 1 200 000 personnes réparties dans 34 000 clubs dans le monde. Donc voilà la toute petite différence, mais sinon l'esprit est presque le même.
Alors ce qui s'est passé à Kigali la semaine passée, jeudi, samedi, donc il y a eu une marche, il y a eu la convention comme telle au Serena. Est-ce qu'en accueillant des gens qui viennent du Congo-Brazza, de la République démocratique du Congo, de Sao Tomé et Principe et de tous ces pays membres du district 95-95-10, est-ce que premièrement c'était aussi pour montrer ce que Rotary Rwanda a pu accomplir jusque-là?
Oui, tout à fait. Ce n'était pas tellement pour montrer ce que le Rotary du Rwanda a fait, bien que ça a été une opportunité pour faire découvrir notre pays, pour faire découvrir ce que nous avons réalisé. Je parle en termes de pays, pas comme Rotary, mais il y a aussi des réalisations du Rotary. Mais c'est plus le côté international du Rotary. Et en plus, c'est la première fois qu'une telle conférence se passe au Rwanda et nous avons essayé de l'avoir de la manière la plus grande possible.
Alors, vous êtes gouverneur général, je ne sais pas quel est le titre exact, directeur général.
Gouverneur du district.
Du district,
oui.
95-10.
Alors, quand on l'appelle DG, c'est en fait District Governor en anglais.
Ah.
Oui, donc ça n'a rien à voir avec directeur général.
Exactement. Alors, voilà. à la cérémonie du jeudi, on a entendu l'hymne national du Rwanda, on a entendu la Marseillaise, on a entendu Debout Congolais et beaucoup d'autres choses. On a vu la beauté de la culture rwandaise avec Inganzongali. Qu'est-ce que ça prend comme travail, comme le boulot que ça vous a pris de préparer ce genre de convention où vous accueillez des gens d'un peu partout en Afrique et même quelqu'un qui est venu de la France?
Même de la Belgique.
Même
oui.
de la Belgique.
Oui, ça nous prend beaucoup de temps de préparation. Accueillir plus de 400 personnes dans son pays, surtout quand c'est la première fois, c'est vraiment un travail de longue haleine, si je peux m'exprimer ainsi. Donc nous avons commencé il y a presque une année, nous le savions déjà parce que la conférence de district généralement se passe dans le pays du gouverneur du district. Et c'était la première fois que le Rwanda obtient un gouverneur de district qui est rwandais, je veux dire. Alors, ça nous a pris du temps et on a commencé à penser à cette conférence il y a une année pratiquement et petit à petit, évidemment, les dernières semaines, le dernier mois, on intensifie, etc.
Alors, c'est une organisation qui a pour but, qui a pour même slogan d'aider, de servir.
Oui.
Qu'est-ce qu'il reste à faire en regardant, en nous projetant vers l'avenir, vu que c'est une convention qui a lieu chaque année, c'était la 33e édition cette année,
Ouais.
qu'est-ce que vous voulez accomplir en allant vers l'avant?
D'abord, nous avons des objectifs en termes d'augmentation des effectifs, parce qu'on se dit que plus on sera nombreux, plus on sera fort. Et on a un autre objectif de faire connaître le Rotary au public, parce qu'on s'est rendu compte que dans le public, il y a des confusions, ils ne comprennent pas très bien ce que nous faisons, ils pensent que c'est une association de personnes qui ont l'argent et qui ne savent
Un but
pas
lucratif.
et qui ne savent pas quoi en faire et qui se réunissent pour boire et manger, alors que derrière ça, il y a autre chose de plus noble. Donc c'est comme ça que le thème de cette conférence était faire rayonner le Rotary au travers des clubs efficaces. Ça veut dire qu'il était aussi question de nous remettre un peu en question, savoir comment nous travaillons, revoir nos méthodes, nos performances, nos contre-performances, nous évaluer et voilà, et aller de l'avant et puis fixer des objectifs pour l'avenir.
Alors, comme je vous disais tantôt, en grandissant, j'ai vu nos grands frères et nos parents intégrer le Rotary. Est-ce que, parce que ce que j'ai vu justement au Serena et dans d'autres activités, c'est qu'il y avait beaucoup de jeunes cette année venant d'un peu partout en Afrique. Est-ce que cette culture du Rotary, cette culture de servir, peut prendre au Rwanda chez les jeunes aussi?
Oui, je peux prendre au Rwanda chez les jeunes parce que, de manière générale, au niveau du Rotary, on s'est rendu compte que c'était un mouvement qui était constitué de personnes de plus en plus vieillissantes. Quand on fait les statistiques, on se rend compte que c'est plus de vieilles personnes, même des retraités, qui sont actifs au niveau du Rotary. Alors, pour l'avenir du Rotary, on a pris comme résolution de rajeunir le Rotary. On nous a demandé de recruter des jeunes. Il y a même un programme. Il y a un programme qui s'appelle le Rotaract, c'est un programme du Rotary. Ça veut dire des jeunes de 18 à 30 ans à qui nous inculquons cet esprit de servir, à qui nous inculquons l'éthique professionnelle, à qui nous inculquons cet idéal de servir, le sens du leadership, parce qu'on se dit le Rotary de demain sera fait de ce qu'on aura fait de la jeunesse d'aujourd'hui. Voilà un peu pourquoi on commence à voir de plus en plus de jeunes. Par exemple, au Rwanda, il y a quelque temps, on n'avait qu'un seul club Rotaract depuis des années, mais aujourd'hui, nous en avons 4, ce qui montre quand même que nous mettons de l'importance dans la préparation de cette jeunesse. Oui.
Jean Renouilla, ça a été un plaisir de vous accueillir à l'émission.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci à
Je
vous.
vous remercie aussi.
Jean Renouilla, Governor of Rotary International District 9150 there, giving us some insight on the event.
You know what? Let me just get a small wrap up on what he was saying there.
Well, I like the fact that he came wearing the jacket, the Rotary jacket and the
Yeah.
pins too. But it's a great thing. He's the district governor. He was talking about how having all those countries here, I mean, Congo, Brazzaville, Sao Tome, Principe, Burundi, and others, was a great thing because it's a communion. They get to talk about what they do, which is helping out communities, helping your neighbor, and basically, it's a great communion. It's a great gathering, and I like the fact that it happened in Rwanda. You should have been there. It was unbelievable.
It looked amazing in the video.
It was very festive. I mean, I remember when the DRC delegation went the flag because there was like
that
a
was
show
cool.
flags.
That
It
was
was
cool.
unbelievable. It was really nice.
All right, nice. Now, another story that really caught our attention this week was the, Litafrika project, which aims at promoting the study of African and Caribbean literatures. Initiated in 2012 by Ishio Arts Center and other cultural organizations from Benin, Belgium, and Haiti, Litafrika holds events such as book cafes with African and Caribbean authors and is launching an online course here in Rwanda. Take a look back.
La société a ses particularités et essayer de voir ces particularités comme des opportunités.
Funded by the European Union, Litafrika has had 4 libraries open since its inception. 2 in Africa, including Espace Madiba, coordinated by Ishio Arts Center, 1 in the Caribbean, and 1 in Europe.
C'est super important au niveau de, je pense d'abord d'un point de vue de la culture. Je suis convaincue que assurer la diversité culturelle est vraiment un point de départ, un fondement pour créer le dialogue, pour former les jeunes. Toute société peut se baser sur la culture et donc sur la littérature pour être en présence de citoyens responsables, actifs et qui participent au débat démocratique tout simplement.
The latest online course of African and Caribbean literatures is the last stage of the project and offers an exhaustive lesson analysis of works about the heritage of the continent. Set to run until this year, Intersection littéraire d'Afrique et des Caraïbes has established libraries dedicated to African and Caribbean literatures, but also a website.
kubera yuko naho ivyo bihugu usanga kenshi na kenshi literature yabo yavuye ku magorwa nk'akarorero gutwagwa mu buja bya esclavage canke gutwagwa gikoloni uca usanga ayo literature yose yagumye yerekana yuko nukuri abanditsi benshi babajwe nuko niyo n'igihe esclavage yahava canke ubukoloni bukava kuva mu 1968 ico bise les soleils des indépendances ni ibitabo vyerekana yuko abanyafrika bari bizeye ukwikukira ariko abanyamahanga bamaze kugenda duca twagwa abafundi buhoro n'abirabure bene wacu muri Caraïbe naho nyene uko nyene ngira muribuka abitwa ba Duvalier hariya muri Haiti n'abakozi babo abambari babo bitwa les tontons Macoute nivyo vyanditswe muri ivyo binyamakuru nivyo vyanditse muri ivyo bitabo nk'uko ari ivyo vyanditswe muri iwacu hanyuma rero ugasanga rero n'indimi twandikamwo tuzandikamwo tutazinzi nka neza.
Now, how does one register for the course?
On a un cours sur les littératures africaines, sur les littératures caribéennes. Vraiment important de contribuer à la diversité culturelle, les faire connaître, les faire se croiser aussi. Il y a une chronologie dans ces littératures qui font que les histoires, on est bien sûr dans un système mondial où il y a des interconnexions. Alors comment participer à ces cours? En effet, on a mis maintenant un cours en ligne. L'idée, c'est de créer des sessions avec des enseignants qui se situent à différents endroits dans les différentes régions. Alors ce sera ici au Rwanda dans les jours qui viennent, mais ce sera ailleurs, au Bénin, à Bruxelles, à Port-au-Prince, également pour enseigner ces littératures.
Litafrika as a project is supposed to run until this year. A great cultural initiative. Regis Isheja, Rise and Shine Rwanda. And joining us in studio now is Carol Caremera, actress, dancer, among the very many hats she wears. She's the co-founder and executive director of Isio Arts Center. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Should I add like superstar and all these other hats that you're wearing? I mean,
you can add mom, maybe?
No. You know? All right, so tell us about Litafrika, how the project started, before we even talk about the online course. I mean, how long has it been going on, and when did it come to Rwanda?
In fact, it's a network of different organizations. All of us, we have an experience about probably 10 years in promoting reading or literature in our own region. So after a certain time, we were looking at how can we now going to the next step? How can we now embrace the opportunities offered by new technologies, and how can we continue to promote our literature, but also know a bit more about the Caribbean and African, knowing a bit more about the Caribbean literature as well. So we thought, okay, we can now have a website, because now we have, you can have all books online, you need also application, now we have Kindles, paddles, you have many different ways to do that promotion. So we wanted also the whole sector from Africa to see how we can embrace that opportunity together. So we started to think about it in 2010, and we launched the project in 2012.
So, I have to ask, this has to be my first question to ask.
I know where you're going.
Is there going to be an English version of this? Is there already an English version of this? Because I heard a lot of French words in that feature.
Yes, now for the moment we work in French because most of us, we were French speaking, but the realities of the African literature, of course, are different. You have English speaking, you have Portuguese, you have Arabic, Swahili phone countries. So we're trying to see how slowly we can also promote original language, not only international ones, but see how we can later on having books, audiobooks or digital books in Wolof, in Fon, or even in Kinyarwanda. So that's the next step. Working with different universities, we will see the interest. And it's easy now that the course exists to translate into different languages and see how we can also engage some publishers to republish or publish in local languages as well.
How important is it to use literature to tell the real story of Africa and the Caribbean? Because we know a lot of people have been telling our own story, but not telling it necessarily the right way.
Yes, that's really the critical point. We're thinking now that with the new generation, now they learn how to communicate differently. So it's new opportunities for stories to be out there and not to be defined by others only. But the first point was how ignorant we are about each other across Africa. That was the first step. We don't know so much about West Africa. We don't know almost nothing about the north of Africa. And how much do we know about Caribbean culture? I was in Haiti and they say, oh, there is literature in Africa. I was like, okay, let's start again. But we have so much in common. And even the way that it's not only the historical part of it that we have in common, but also the poetry genres and many different kind of expression in literature. So now I think it's really the right time because the new generation in Africa, they have access, to you online. They know they have different ways and opportunities to approach to a same theme coming through the net and the new technologies. So now they are writing more and more. For the moment, they comment. They use Twitter and but now they create their own blogs to share their own views coming from their own environment more and more. So I think this is really the right time. If they have access, if they read more, of course they will develop their talent, and it will be easier for them to go out there. But it's really the right time not to be told by others.
So tell me, what is, before we have to go, what is the ultimate goal? What is the vision
of Litafrika
Yes.
and the online course? It's to know better not only who we are, the cultural identity, because in Rwanda especially, we have been isolated for quite a long time, and now we are part of two regions, Great Lakes plus East Africa. We're part of Africa. We have more and more ambition to be part of the world and to play a role in that world. But without knowing ourselves, I don't know how we're going to get it. If my little one doesn't grow knowing Alexis Kagame or Ngongori or all the different writers across the world, she will keep reading, not bad American literature or South American or European, but they will still have this complex thing that I'm not sure that I can write, or this process of identification, which is happening in movies or even in music, won't happen in literature if we don't give access to it. So mainly is to say, like, first we need to know each other, we have full of talented, and be proud of being Africans. And that's the first one. Second one is to develop critical discourse. If you read a lot, you can develop not only your imagination, but also, how to the way that you look at the rest of the world, and you feel happy and also welcome to not only to contemplate.
Confident.
Yeah, confidence. Yes, exactly.
Well, I know someone is happy about the Caribbean literature.
Of course.
And the African literature. You know, I studied literature in school, so
I did too in high school.
Yeah. In university, I have a degree in literature, believe it or
That's
not.
what I'm talking
And
about.
You should give the course.
I know.
We translate it and then.
I think I'm going to be teaching.
All
I
right.
think I'm going to be teaching. Great initiative.
Right. I actually think this is something they should do often, and then we really need to know what happened in our history and then the Caribbean history. I know you
It
like
seems
that.
like it's going to be growing.
I know you like that for a fact. All right, you're watching the review edition of Rise and Shine Rwanda. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Here is to traveling and saving. Starting 1st of April to the 1st of June, travel with Rwanda and take advantage of our reduced fares and enjoy our world-class services in great comfort and safety.
Fly our dream to the heart of Africa.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda, the review. Now, there were some big business stories in the news this week, from major improvements in transport for the Northern Corridor to the car washing business in Rwanda. Let's take a look back at the best of the week in business.
Kigali is known for being one of the cleanest cities in the world, from people's homes to the streets and even the cars that drive on them. Cleanliness is not just something to brag about, it's something that everyone keeps close to their hearts. Well, earlier in the week, Fidelis looked into a business that is cashing in on this trend. Take a look.
Faustin, like many people in Kigali, moved to the city in search for a job that would help him make enough money to improve his life. And just 3 years into this job, he has not only been able to make enough to sustain himself, but to start a family as well.
amafaranga turayabona ko ari byinshi tugezeho impamvu tukora n'uwumva yakumva atari mwiza yageramo akakora akareba uko bimeze ubu ngubu bamfashije gushaka umugore n'abafite abana babiri n'umudamu wanjye nta kibazo mfite mbasha kwikodeshereza iri mu 20 n'ibindi ndimo ndateganya kubigeraho byinshi.
Him being one of the best car detailers around, one would wonder if he has had any particular training in this job, but that's not the case.
Njye nta hantu nize, njye nabonye abantu boza ndavuga ndashaka koza byanga bikunda, ndaza ndatangira bakugeza kuri ino saha, ndi umuntu ukomeye rwose mu koza, ndi umuntu cyane rwose, ndi uwa mbere muri make.
Although many people are now in this business, it is still practiced at a low standard, which makes it hard for car washers in the country to compete or attract as many customers as their rivals in the region.
Urabona yuko akenshi mu bindi bihugu baturusha iterambere, hari ubwo bashobora kuza abakiriya bashaka mashini, bashobora kuzamura imodoka ikaja hejuru bakoza munsi. Ibyo ni ibintu mu Rwanda tudafite izo mashini kugira ngo tuzibone, bisaba kugira ngo dushire ku mpande hanze. Rozizera mashini twari dufitemo ni mashini ntoya zikuramwo umwanda, ariko ntabwo bishobora kuzamura imodoka imbije hejuru. Numva nta kindi kibazo ushobora kuba twagira kindi ariko igisanzwe gukora abakozi barakora bakakisha imodokari. Ikindi kibazo dushobora kugira kugira ngo tubure amafaranga, nkeka amazi tukabura amazi. Hagiye tubuza amazi, business irahagarara, yuko no business ikoreshwa n'amazi.
So in case you're wondering where to invest your money, well, here's one idea that has a lot of room for you to explore. Karangwa Fidelis, Rise and Shine Rwanda.
And joining us now in studio is Mazimaka Alphonse, the owner of New Car Wash. Murakaza neza Alphonse muri Rise and Shine Rwanda.
Murakaza.
Ese Alphonse tubwire, hari benshi dusigaye tubona baja muri no business ya car wash, we wayigiyemo ute?
Ogewe nyuma yo gusezererwa mu ngabo z'igihugu ko nari umusirikare, byaye ngombwa ko ntekereza icyateza imbere umuryango wanjye. Ni muri rwo rwego rero natekereje gushinga car wash, ariko mu ndoto zanjye nkumva ko nashinga car wash nziza, kubera ko igihugu cyacu zimwe mu ndangagaciro z'abanyarwanda harimo n'isuku. Bityo rero no mu modoka tugenderamo nazo zo zikwiye kuba zifite isuku. Bikaba ari muri urwo rwego nanjye natekereje ko nagira uruhare mu isuku.
Ese no gutangiza no business, ese bisaba amafaranga menshi, kandi ko niba atari byo, ese yaba impamvu yuko bitasaba amafaranga menshi, wenda byaba bituma ariyo mpamvu itaragera kuri standard yo muri regional level, ku buryo ubona nkaho mbese amakawosho mu Rwanda wenda yabajyanye n'ayandi yose ari nko muri Kenya cyangwa se mu bindi bihugu byo hanze?
Urakoze. Bisaba amafaranga menshi, si menshi cyane ariko bisaba menshi. Ikindi gikurikiyeho nubwo dufite kawosha mu gihugu cy'u Rwanda, ntabwo twavuga ngo twakompetitinga n'izindi kawosha zo mu bindi bihugu. Twe turacyari hasi cyane kubera ibikoresho. Mwabonye nk'amamashini dukoresha, twebwe dukoresha mashini bita karasha zo mu Budage. Azira mashini nta mbaraga zifite nko kuzabasha koza nk'amakamyo cyangwa imodoka nini. Rero usanga bira bihugu byateye imbere bifite ibikoresho, no kuba baradutanze iterambere mu byibuke ko bira bihugu byadutanze, ariko natwe nk'abanyarwanda turiga, turakora ingendo shuri ku buryo twabasha gukora byiza ndetse binaruseho n'ibyabo.
Ese watubwiye ati ibikoresho birabahenda, ariko muri iki gihe dusigaye tubona amabanki atanga amakredi, wenda nagwa n'urugero rwa BRT namaze no kuvugaho mu kanya. Ese mwebwe hari nk'amasosiyasiyo murimo nko mufatanya kugira ngo muzagure ibikoresho ku buryo niyo yaba ari asosiyasiyo imwe mukaba mwese mwatangije business yanyu, ariko muba mufite ibintu mbese bifite quality, mbese bitari nkaho buri muntu afite iye ariko ugasanga quality iri hasi?
Yego, nibyo. Natwe dufite abafatanyabikorwa bacu, nk'uko babivuze ni banke de development BRD. Ni banke ishyigikiye buri munyarwanda wese wifuza gutera imbere. Natwe rero ni abafatanyabikorwa bacu, twumva ko tuzabagezaho umushinga wacu mu buryo, kuko twakoze ingendo shuri dusanga hari mashini zikwiye gukora, zikwiye koza amamodoka zikoresheje umwuka ndetse n'amazi makeya. Nubwo natwe tugerageza kujera amazi dukoresheje uburyo bwa rotation, ni ukuvuga ngo amazi kugenda agaruka agasukurwa akongera agakoreshwa.
Donc ntabwo mukoresha amazi mashasha buri shuro yose?
dukoresha amazi yose aba ari mashya ariko ntabwo wabimenya kereka tubigusobanurira. Ni ukuvuga ngo amazi araza akajya mu kigega kinini, aya mazi azana yawasa yageze muri kigega kinini amanuka mu miyoboro itwara amazi yanduye kuko abavuye ku modoka kandi yageze hasi, yageze mu kindi kigega arayungururwa, noneho akaba pompe yindi iyazamura ikazamura ameza amabi agasigara. Ubwo rero tugakora nibyo navugaga, ni amazi agakora circulation bigatuma nta mazi menshi dukoresha, ariko twumva nanone bidahagije. Hari amamashini tubura aterura imodoka ngo zijye hejuru, ikindi amamashini tubura asohora amazi ashyushye yakoza nk'amatracteri afiteho za grise bishaka amazi afite presiyo. Tukaba twumva ku bufatanye na BRD bishobora kuzagerwaho.
Kandi uretse na BRD hari n'abantu benshi mu Rwanda bafite amafaranga babuze batarabona aho bavestisa. Twizere ko ubu ngubu babonye igitekerezo cy'aho bayashira.
Birashoboka.
Murakoze cyane kuba mwitabiriye ubutumwa bwacu.
Murakoze namwe.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like the fact that basically he's saying that BRD, which is one of the banks here in Rwanda, has been very supportive and helpful of the car washing business. And he says he hopes more banks get on board. I think it's a great idea.
I mean, absolutely. And you know what, like she said in the video, it's very important right now. I mean, cleanliness is kind of one of the things that, yes, it makes us comfortable as citizens, but it also brings people in. People always talk about how clean our country is, and cars and bikes and stuff are
absolutely.
A big part
Two
of
things
that.
that's always going to be bringing tourists in Rwanda: cleanliness, security. They want to invest.
For sure.
So that's a great thing. You're watching Rise and Shine's weekly review show. Let's take a look back at the week that was in sports with Arnold Quizera.
Well, this week we saw Arnold delve into some interesting sports stories, from the Spanish La Liga to promising point guards striving to take the game he loves to the next level. Just go ahead and tell us more. You already know.
Right, Makira. Aristide Mugabe is the captain of the national basketball team and point guard of Espoir Basketball Club. And earlier this week, Arnold caught up with the 3-time consecutive national champion to get a grasp of who he is and what he thinks of basketball in Rwanda. Take a look.
Very few sports disciplines have given the Rwandan sports fraternity something to smile about. And over the past few years, a few sportsmen have been at the helm of this stardom. One of those is the national basketball team captain Aristide Mugabe, who went on to form a big part of the core of the Rwandan team that was victorious at the Zone 5 national championships and led Rwanda to the Afro Basketball Championships. But who is Aristide Mugabe, and what does basketball mean to him?
Ko ndi umuntu usanzwe nyina ikipe ya Espoir, nkaba ndi umukinnyi ukunda gutsinda, buri gihe nkina bashaka gutsinda, nkora icyo nshoboye cyose kugira ngo ikipe yanjye itsinde, kuko njye ntabwo nshobora gutsinda ikipe yanjye yatsinzwe, ariko ikipe yanjye itsinze nanjye mba natsinze. Buri gihe ni umuntu ushaka gutsinda, buri gihe mba shaka kwiga ibintu bishyashya, mba shaka gutera intambwe buri munsi, avuga ko buri gihe mba shaka kongeraho aho ngeze intera yisumbuye. Basket navuga ko ari nk'ubuzima kuri njyewe, kuko nayitangiye kera, igenda ifasha muri byinshi, avuga ko niyo nakuriyemo, niga nkina basket, ndinda ndangiza amashuri ya secondaire ndetse na kaminuza, byose nkina basket. Avuga ko usibye wenda nk'ishuri n'akazi ubu ngubu, ariko ubundi nta kindi kintu nkora usibye basket cyane cyane.
Having qualified for the 2013 Africa Basketball Championships, Rwanda's failure to qualify for this year's tournament is one of the dark clouds hanging above this 27-year-old's head.
Navuga ko ibihe bibi ari ubwo twatakazaga Zone 5 i Burundi mu 2013, ndetse na Memorial Gisembe hano iwacu muri 2013 nabwo ndumva.
A few years ago, Rwanda was singled out as an emerging powerhouse, but this promise has not been seen through. So what does he think went wrong?
Navuga ko basket ikintu ubona kidinizamo ni ukubera ko basket itangiriye hasi, guhera za primaire secondaire hakabaho kwita ku bana cyane cyane, byaba byiza ariko ni ibintu bisaba budget nini, bisaba ibibuga bya basket ubona ko bihenze bikiri ikibazo.
The 2015 National League has been the most competitive in a long time, and the Espoir Basketball Club point guard is keen to point out some of those tough opponents he has faced thus far.
Ikibazo gikomeye gusa navuga ko ubu ngubu abakinnyi benshi ubona ko bari kuri niveau iri kuzamuka, navuga nka Steve wo muri IPRC, navuga nka witwa Patrick wo muri Patriot.
Any ambitious player emulates some of the best in his position, and Mugabe does not shy away from naming some of his current idols.
Ngewe ku giti cyane nkunda Derrick Rose wo muri Chicago Bulls.
Multiple league titles, a Zone 5 championship, and having led Rwanda at the Afro Basketball Games in Cote d'Ivoire, Aristide Mugabe is a living legend of basketball in Rwanda. Arnold Kwizera, Rise and Shine, Rwanda.
See, I want to meet that gentleman. You know, his favorite point guard is Derrick Rose.
I knew you had to say something about
I
that.
think him and I can get along really well. All right.
Not looking good for the Bulls despite
it's
that.
It's 2-2. Let's wait until we get back from Cleveland. All right. So when you think about basketball in Rwanda and what Aristide has been able to do, you name him a living legend, and rightfully so, he is. I'm from the era where APR and Espoir were really good in the 90s.
Okay.
At CSK, and I don't know ever since what happened, but what I know is that we haven't truly reached our full potential. What's missing?
I think administratively it went wrong. That's trying to change. We talked about it earlier, I think, this week.
Right.
Basketball, the way the administration was ambitious earlier on, the way the money was being trickled down, they had very few funds, but they were presenting results. So when the money came in, when the government increased on their budget, it became worse. You know, you expected it to get better. I think with so many sports, basketball is an example of so many sports in Rwanda that are working on miracles because of the love for the game by so many of these players. You know, a player like him, he knows he can't depend on basketball alone. He has to have a bank job, you know, to be able to supplement on what he gets from basketball. But when you look at a player like Aristide Mugabe, he's an example to so many young aspiring players, because so many point guards you look at right now in Rwandan basketball, the likes of Steven, the likes of Patrick he mentioned, Ivan Nwema, they will tell you that they want to be like Aristide Mugabe because he's the cornerstone of what you'll call point guards in Rwanda. Maybe you will look at Gasana, who's not. I don't think is going to come back and play for the national team after the naturalized players incident. But that was another great player for the Rwanda national team. And Mugabe, if I was a young player today and I want a player to look up to, it would be Aristide Mugabe. And he's now preparing for the military games. The national league is still ongoing, and he still has to explore to lead to the playoffs of this year's league.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's a great point guard, great future for our game here. So I like it. All right, stay tuned. We'll be right back with a look at this week's lifestyle story.
Here is to traveling and saving. Starting 1st of April to the 1st of June, travel with Rwanda and take advantage of our reduced fares and enjoy our world-class services in great comfort and safety.
Fly our dream to the heart of Africa.
A few weeks ago, we profiled an up-and-coming project that was a collaboration between the Village Group and the government. Located on the top floor of the Kigali Public Library, Innovation Village aims to offer a space for people from the education and creative sectors to connect, create, and share. Last Thursday, they celebrated the soft launch of the space with an open mic night dubbed the Storytellers Cafe, and of course, we were there to check it out. Let's take a look back at that report.
We want Innovation Village to be one of the hubs that make the pulse of Kigali City.
At a cool and laid-back event in their brand new space at the top of the Kigali Public Library, Innovation Village hosted their first event with an open mic function. The event featured performances by poets and musicians and brought together people from all sectors to mingle and discover Kigali's newest space.
Tonight we launched the Storytellers Cafe, which is the platform for artists, for performances. We're going to be launching our next platform, the Innovation Academy, with a talk at the end of this month. We're going to be communicating about them more on our social media. So the Innovation Academy is next. Then eventually we will be launching the Educators Lab, and then our digital library, our digital platform that kind of like brings all of our platforms together and allows us to expand beyond these walls. The event is going really, really well. We are so happy about the turnout. There's so many people, much more than we expected. People seem to be so pleased with the space, so we just hope that they keep on coming, keep on using the place, and you know, we want this place to be as alive and as exciting as possible.
We're at the soft launch of Innovation Village, and it's everything that you would expect of it. Poetry, music, people getting together, exactly what it should be. Let's go see what other people think of the event.
More innovative people to come, and share ideas, but not only sharing ideas, building something that can sustain for a long time. At the same time, having a space environment where they can actually look at the mirror and be like, you know what, I'm not only looking at a glass, I'm actually looking at a painting, and then reflection of that is actually bringing colors on me. So I think it's the essence of, Innovation Village and its lights.
I think it's good because I guess it's going to bring people together, different events. I was with them from the beginning because they keep posting pictures of how they're evolving from day by day, constructions and so on. So the fact that it turned out this way, mind-blowing.
I think it's very important. I think it's a place for people to come and really innovate. It's a place for them to congregate, to share ideas, to communicate, and that's what we need in Rwanda. We need to be able to share those good ideas that are out there and just build this nation together. And that's what a space like this really does.
En fait, l'événement est très bien et je trouve qu'on va bien se régaler parce que j'ai de mes frères qui sont des écrivains et ils m'ont invité et je me sens vraiment très bien en étant parmi eux.
A strong start indeed. Makeda Mahario, Rise and Shine Rwanda. And joining us live in studio is Samantha Geteretse from Innovation Village. You are the communication manager of the Village Group, actually, right?
That's correct.
So tell me, as someone who was actually part of the team, doing the nitty-gritty, getting down during the actual event, how did it go? Because for us, it seemed like it went off without a hitch. It was perfect.
I mean, we prepared a lot and we actually thought of every worst case scenario. So as a team, we were prepared and we had fun, we all had fun. The event went superbly well. We were so pleased with the outcome. We couldn't believe how many people actually turned up. So that was really overwhelming for us in a good way. We were so grateful. We had this amazing jazz band that performed for our guests, and we had Positive Productions who sponsored the sound at the event, and we partnered with Spoken Word Rwanda that helped us with the spoken word section of the event.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it went everything we had imagined it to be. That's how it was, and then some. So it was brilliant.
So you celebrated the soft launch with a Storytellers Cafe.
Exactly.
So explain to us exactly what that is.
So, like you just said, we did just launch one of our platforms, which was Storytellers Cafe, and that platform is an interactive platform for the creative community. So, for the writers, the singers, the poets, and the filmmakers, and throughout the year, we're going to have a bunch of exhibitions, talks, screenings, which will also be held under Storytellers Cafe. So it really is just one of those platforms where we want the creative community to come and share, you know, their gifts and talents and skills and just collaborate with, yeah.
So this is not going to be like the new home of spoken word. This was just for one event, right?
It was, yeah, exactly. So for that particular event, we did partner with Spoken Word Rwanda, and we would love to partner with them again, and we will also have our own spoken word events in the future too, so yeah.
So what is to come in the near future for Innovation Village? Because this is the first event, but what can we look at in terms of a timeline?
Well, for Innovation Village, we have a few platforms coming forth throughout the year. So we have Storytellers Cafe for now, and that's what we'll be focusing on for the next couple of months. And yeah, well, like I said, we'll have screenings, exhibitions, and, you know, concerts, talks.
All of that to come.
All of that under Storytellers Cafe.
So I want to know, with Innovation Village, this is, I feel like, the first place where you have it now. This is your first space. Is there going to be other ones? Is there going to be, like, you know, an Innovation Village up country one day, or in different parts of Kigali?
I mean, absolutely. That is definitely the dream and the vision in the long run. But for now, our focal point is the Innovation Village in Kigali, and we want to get that right. We want to, you know, secure the right sponsors and partners, because that's what we believe in. We're big on collaboration, so as long as we keep partnering with the right people, we will definitely be able to grow.
Do you have any campaigns coming up? I know that this was also a collaboration with the government, so are there any campaigns that are in the works or planning?
No, none at the moment. No campaigns, no.
Well, thank you so much for coming in and telling us a little bit more about Innovation Village. Initiative, such a cool project.
I think there should be more. I think it should be the norm, because this is an amazing project, it's an amazing initiative, but it should be the norm. We should have more of this. I like it.
Yeah, definitely. And I know that people who were there really enjoyed the soft launch. They really enjoyed the Storytellers Cafe.
What did you feel about it?
I loved it. I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought the space was amazing. But even like a lot of the other people who were there, a lot of the patrons, we spoke to a few of them. It was good. And there's also been some blogs that have come out since then about the space and, you know, how much people are really, really liking it. So, you know, I really think that it's on the up and up. I'm excited to see what's to come for Innovation.
I cannot wait to go check it out.
Yes, you need to go.
Right.
All right. Don't forget, we love to hear your thoughts, comments, and feedback on what we're talking about here on Rise and Shine Rwanda. Tweet us at Rise and Shine RW. We're always looking for ya. Like us on Facebook and send us ideas for programs. Tag us in your photos, comments. Check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda YouTube page where you can catch all the shows and reports that we're uploading daily for you. Find us on Instagram and follow us, Rise and Shine RW. We're always posting behind the scenes pics. Or check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda website.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. We'd love to hear your feedback, so do let us know if you have an idea for the program. You've been watching the weekly review edition of Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Regis Isheja.
And me, Makeda Mahadio. We'll be back here same time, same place on Monday, so please do join us then. But for now, from the both of us and the rest of the Rise and Shine team, or the beautiful Rise and Shine team,
yes.
I'm sorry, have a great day and an even better weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye.